Welcome everyone to Interactive Fiction with Unfold Studio. Can y'all see my slides? Yes, excellent. Okay, we are going to start out with an activity to get our creative juices flowing because I know you're adults, which means your neuroplasticity is not high. And usually your energy is not very high either because you've probably just done a full day of teaching. So with kids, I skip this part because they're great at randomly coming up with answers, but let's try this thing. This game is wrong answers only. And I will encourage you all to turn on your microphones. You know, there's a few of enough of us people here that we can just shout out. And I'm going to give you a question and you have to give me as many wrong answers to that question as possible. Okay. And you can use the chat and you can use voice and you can shout it out. Ready to go? Okay. Question 1. Name something found in a kitchen. Wrong answers only.
Couch.
A toilet.
A car.
Keep coming.
Let's just put your entertainment center. No, that's always in the kitchen too.
It's okay. You don't have to self-censor. What about clowns? What about goldfish?
Yeah, there you go.
What about ATVs? What about airports? Right?
Yeah. How about
Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is a warm-up thing. Okay, so it can be anything and wrong answers only. So your scope of things to choose from is basically every single thing in the world except for this one thing. Okay, so give me lots of things that are, name something you do at a gym. Wrong answers only.
Sleep.
climb the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Cook.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, teach computer science.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. We're getting better at this. Okay. Let's try the third one. This one is name someone who works at a hospital. Wrong answers only.
Steve Martin.
There you go.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, President, who's the president now?
President Biden.
Kamala Harris. There you go.
Kamala Harris. Good. Keep going.
Me.
Beyonce. Me.
Mother.
An astronaut.
There you go. Muppets.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Your boss. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. So this is an exercise because when we're writing interactive fiction, we need content, right? We need what happens next in a story, right? And adults are the worst at self-censoring. They have an idea and they think, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. Oh, no, people won't like my ideas. But it literally does not matter what you say. So like, even when I was saying wrong answers only, and you gave a right answer, that was still fine, right? Because it would still be fine as the next part of a story. All right, cool. So I am going to rely on you to give me answers, and they can be stupid. They don't have to make sense, right? They can be wrong answers. So hopefully that loosened you up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to look at Unfold Studio. Do you still see my screen? Wonderful. Okay, so here's the deal with Unfold Studio. We're going to write code. That code is going to be run and look like something different. So up at the top is a picture of like the simplest thing you can write in Unfold Studio, and that's the code. So who can tell me one of the ways that the code looks different from the result?
They have line numbers.
Line numbers in the code. Good. No line numbers in the result. Excellent. What's another difference?
You have centering, or I mean alignment codes on the left.
Left justified in the code, centered in the result. Excellent. I missed someone who said something. Was it Jasmine?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I was saying the plus and the minus.
There you go. The plus and the minus. Those are actual Those are like the keywords of Unfold Studio. Those are the code commands that tell it what to do. So what about the plus things and the minus things? How do they look different in the result?
The plus seems like it's something that somebody said, whereas the other is like stage direction.
Yeah, exactly. So you see the minus is on line 1 and the text on line 1 shows up. And this is just going to be text. Oops, sorry. There you go. That's just the text. The pluses are clickable choices, right? So down here, the choice, and you'll know it's kind of hard to see, but these are in a slightly lighter shade of gray, which means they haven't happened yet, right? So if you click on one, then it should take you to the next part of the story. All right. And the important thing you need to know here is the minus and the plus. Is that hard syntactically? Nope. So we're going to start to code a story just using these two symbols. All right. The website is unfold.studio. That's it. Unfold Studio is at unfold.studio. We good? Yeah. Now, the cool thing about this website is you can log in using your Google account, single sign-on, or you can not log in and just only make public stories. Right? You can still do all of the stuff and all of the coding and all of the making without making an account. So if it's easy for you to log in with your Google right now, then go for it. But if you hit any roadblock, just quit and do it without signing in. And it's possible to make a group like a classroom, but only if you contact the maker of this, Chris Proctor, because it's still in development. So he's working on the classroom features. All right, so we're going to start by making a new story, and you can just click on New Story. And for this part, you probably want to just follow along, watch my screen. If you have like 2 screens or you can split it or something, you can do your own version, but at least just watch me. We're going to need a title for this story. So this is your first creativity exercise. Give me any noun.
Bus.
Bus. Good. This is the bus story. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, bus story. What is the symbol we need for the first part of our story?
Minus.
Minus. Okay. Oh, look, I typed a minus. It's pretty small, but there we go. Now we need the first line of our story. It takes place on a bus. So what is the first thing that should happen?
Should on or off? Oh, you want the,
Yeah, give me a part of a story, like the first line of a story that would take place on a bus. Let's do one day.
setting?
Sure.
Yeah, some setting
One day I
or,
was riding on the bus.
there we go.
Okay.
I don't know why this is so hard.
One day I was riding on the bus and what happened? Suddenly,
An alligator got on.
an alligator got on. Yay. Okay, now we can have choices about what we want to do with the alligator, right? So let's give a plus. And what is one thing you might do to respond to the fact that an alligator got in the bus?
I slid over to make a room.
Green.
So I could slide over to make room for it. I got you there. It took me a while to get to that. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the second person. You slide over to make room. What is another choice that's different from that?
You can scream.
You scream. Okay, so now we're going to run this, and there's no run button, but there's a save button, which I find a bit confusing, but you run it by clicking save. What do we see? One day I was riding on the bus and suddenly an alligator got on, and there are 2 choices here. Should we click over, you slide over to make room? Click.
Yeah.
Now it adds that to the story in the dark gray on the left.
Okay.
And then you don't have the other choice because you made that choice, right? And it's gone. So there should be a next part of the story. Let's give it another minus. What happens next in the story? Does the alligator say something or do something?
So wait, I got a question. So how, if you just went down a couple lines, how does it know that this is for that choice?
It does not. So this is it has lots of choices for what you do, but we're just doing the basic version for just writing things that your choices don't actually matter in the story. If you want them to matter, that's level 2, which we'll do in like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. I just want to show like what happens next. So the alligator says,
Okay. How do you do?
how do you do? Excellent. So we're going to push save again. One day I was riding on the bus and suddenly an alligator got on. You scream. The alligator says, how do you do? Okay. So if we do save again, and this time we pick the different one, you slide over to make room. The alligator still says, how do you do? Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. So that is your basic thing. You can write an entire thing. Kids can be totally happy with a minus and a plus, right? For days. Okay. I'm glad that Chris, you asked the question about how we make these choices go to consequences, because that is the next phase in the thing. Okay. So the basic way we do navigation in a story using ink is called knots. So you can think of it as like each chapter, like mini chapter of a story, or each page in a choose your own adventure where you have something that happens and you have a choice. So we're going to look at the syntax of this, and it's slightly more complex than minus and plus. So tell me what you see in the code.
Equal signs.
Equal signs. Yeah. So like on line 3, there's 3 equal signs and then a word and then another 3 equal signs.
Mhm.
What do you think that is doing there?
It's like the name of a section.
Exactly. It's the name of the section. It's the name of the knot. You notice how pool is here inside the equal signs? And pool is also on line 1 where there's an arrow. And this says at the beginning, go to pool. And it goes here. Cool. What else do you see?
Brackets.
There's brackets. Yeah. Brackets are cool. They make your choice not show in the story. So when you click on shout back, it's just not going to show it over here. It's not going to be part of the story. It'll just tell you the next part of the story. Cool. What about these arrows down here on line 6? It says go to splash. What do you think it would do then?
It's going to go to that subroutine.
Yep. Go to line 14 here and it's going to show the splash paragraph. And then the last thing we have is this arrow that says go to done. What do you think that does? Yeah, it finishes the story. Cool.
So does it finish that little section and then it goes to the next thing, which is splash, or it just finishes the whole thing?
No, it just finishes. And mostly what it does, because you'd think it, finishing would just be fine already. Mostly what it does is keeps you from getting an error that says this story doesn't finish.
Okay.
Yeah, because anytime you start to introduce knots and arrows, it wants to go through to and find an end. Yeah. Okay, so let's go play this story. So this is slightly more complex. I'm not going to have you write this out, but we're going to go to it on Unfold Studio. So there's a story that I made, and we can do show code. So you can actually run this. So you are floating in the pool on a raft that looks like a large chocolate sprinkled donut. Suddenly you hear a shout and look up at the rows of balconies. What should we do? Shout back or go check it out?
Shout back.
Shout back. 3 men run out of room 204, startling you so that you fall ungracefully off your donut and splash into the cold water. When you surface, they are gone. Okay, so that choice had a consequence. If we go back and play it again, and instead we do go check it out, it's gonna have a different consequence. You slip gracefully off your donut and towel off, making your way up the metal stairs to where you think the shout came from. Cool? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to extend this story by adding in a new knot. So I'm gonna put the link to this in the chat, and I'm gonna ask someone else to share their screen.
That's right.
Excellent. Okay, Chris, thanks. So up at the top, there's a blue command that says show code.
Yep.
Right under mystery at the motel. There you go. So you got code there. Wonderful. And now you click save and it should run it.
Oh, I just deleted done.
That's fine. We're good. You can see what it does when you don't have a done. See,
Okay.
as you don't have a done. But that's okay, because we're going to put a choice in its place. So what symbol do we need for a choice?
Plus.
Good. Now, what is okay, so you've just surfaced from the pool and the men that you saw are gone. What can you choose to do next?
So let me think.
Hello, Heather. You're joining us at a great time. We are looking at Unfold Studio and we are adding our first choice onto this interactive story.
Okay.
So Chris is controlling the screen and she's putting in an option here. There you go. You grab it.
So should I put it in brackets?
It depends if you want it to show on the story or not. Do you want it just to disappear after you click it or do you want it to still be there?
Oh, I see what you mean by a show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that decision is arbitrary and you can always change your mind later.
Okay. But then I have to put this, right?
Yeah, just one minus arrow, not a two dash arrow. There you go. Cool. And then you're going to go to a new kind of mini chapter. So give that mini chapter a name. Maybe it's named Towel. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to have to actually create Towel, right? We used our variable. Now we have to create it. So you're going to use, you got the 3 equal signs. Hold on though. I see a capital T on one of them and a lowercase t on the other. Yeah. There you go. You can ignore that list of things. It's trying to help you, but it's never helpful. Okay, so what happens when you grab a towel? Is it full of spiders?
I was just thinking that.
Excellent.
Really?
Like you immediately throw the towel on the ground when you realize it is full of spiders. There you go. And Heather, please pipe in with all of your ideas for where stories could go next, because these are sacrificial stories. They don't matter. So they don't make sense. So we can put anything in them. Ooh, hundreds of spiders.
So is this like a choose your own adventure or is this?
Yeah, we're coding a choose your own adventure.
Okay, cool. And what language is this in?
The language is called Ink. The platform, the website we're using is Unfold Studio. So it's a way for users to use Ink without having a terminal or their own server or anything.
Is it exportable? Can you?
I've never tried to export it. It shows on the website. So Chris, if you can press save for us, then Heather can see the story on the right. Oh no, apparent loose end exists.
Done.
We need a done at the end of towel. You're right. I always forget that. So it's got to be capital done. I don't know why, but yeah.
Oh, all caps done.
All caps done. And you can just click on it there. There you go. Okay, now we'll press save. Ta-da, you were floating in the pool on a raft that looks like a large chocolate sprinkled donut. Suddenly you hear a shout and look up at the rows of balconies. What should happen? Do you shout back or do you go check it out?
We're going to check it out, see if it works.
You slate gracefully after your donut and towel off. Oh, end of story. Should we do save and try the other thing?
Oh, I had it backwards. Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
You always have to hit save.
Yeah, save is run. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so we're gonna try shout back this time.
Back.
3 men run out of room 204. You fall off your donut and splash into the cold water. You want to click you grab a towel? It's the only choice there, and you can click it.
Right.
There you go. You grab a towel. You immediately throw the towel on the ground when you realize hundreds of spiders crawl out. That cool? Do you want to add another choice instead of grabbing your towel?
Oh, I see. I'm like, why is the U here capitalized? But this was my choice, and I didn't have it. Hide it. Got it.
Yeah. So if you want to hide that, you can put brackets around line 14. But if you want to just keep it there, you can change line 17 to fit it in. You know, using your English skills, your coding skills.
Got it.
Yeah, you can solve this with English or with code.
So, my English sucks, but I get it. Got it.
Yeah, so if it's going to say you grab a towel, then the towel could say, and immediately throw it in the ground. Right? Because it's just going to be right after it. Doesn't even need to be capital.
Well, I need a space first.
Try it with no space and see what happens. And there you go. Try save. And we're going to go shout back. And you grab a towel.
so it automatically gives me a space.
There you go. Cool. So it like joins two parts of a sentence together. Gives the choice and the consequence, right? The stimulus and the response. So there you go. Do you want to put in another choice instead of grabbing a towel? Cool. Plus, yep, plus is for choices. Heather, can you help us with what would happen? What's another choice you could make instead of grabbing a towel?
What did we just do? We just fell in somewhere.
Yeah, we just fell into the cold water. When you surface, the men are gone. Literally anything is allowed. You get out and join the circus. You throw a bike into the pool.
Yeah, I was thinking that you realize it's not a pool but a river or something like that. You're floating down or floating into deep water or something along those lines.
Okay. Okay. You feel a tug.
You
at your
feel
leg.
nothing. Yeah, you feel something hit your foot.
Oh,
And
and
then
you
you
realize
realize-
it's not a pool at all, but a giant whirlpool
Right.
Yeah.
pulling you in.
Or something.
Yeah, or something dramatic.
So yeah. You realize it's squishy and slimy and oh, it moved, it wrapped around your leg. Now what?
There you go. And so that can be the next knot. So what are you going to call that knot?
Oh, I forgot to call it something.
Yeah, you got to call it. It literally doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call it the same thing later. There you go. It's river. So now you're going to make a river knot with three
With
equal
no
signs.
capital letters.
Nice.
I screwed
Yep.
that up.
There
So
you go.
it's going to put that at your foot.
Yep.
And then, what is she saying?
It pulls you down, and suddenly you find yourself immersed in a flowing river.
Yeah.
The
Something like that.
the water is green and murky and filled with tiny fish. Or something.
Piranha.
Piranha. There you go. There's a piranha. It bites your foot. You call out in pain. Kids are way better at this than adults are. Coming up with interesting stories.
How do you spell piranha? P-A-I-R?
I spell it incorrectly, so I wouldn't know if you're spelling it right or wrong.
H-A-N-A.
H?
Literally no one cares. So you can spell it however you want.
That's totally wrong.
It is a man-eating fish.
Yes.
There we go.
When in doubt, change it to something you can spell.
Yep.
School of fish.
Nice. Cool. And what do you need at the end of every knot if you don't have choices? Done.
Done.
Nice. Now you can save and test your story. So it's on shout back.
Okay.
There we go. Now we have choices. You grab a towel or you feel something tug your foot.
Not much of a choice. And you die. And you die. That's choose your own adventures. Blah, blah, blah. Choice, blah, blah. And you die.
Yep.
That's
you
my
go.
fifth. When I used to teach elementary, that was their synopsis.
Yep.
And there's a great scenario. And then there's some scenes. And then there's a choice. And then you die.
Yep. There you go. So can you envision spending, you're 13, you're spending hours and hours and hours writing a fully featured interactive story with just the syntax? Right? You got choices, you got consequences. You don't need to learn any more code. That's good enough. Right? There is, however, a bunch more code to learn. So let's see, we've only got 17 minutes left. Let's go and try the next thing. So if I can have screen share back, I will show you the next part. There we go. Okay, so first of all, we started by doing super simple syntax that just showed a story where you could have choices, but the choices didn't matter. Then we showed you have choices and then the choices have consequences. And now we can get into things like, there we go, variables. So we can actually save information at one point and use it again at another point. So let's look at this one. So the code starts with var dog equals nothing. And I think var might be the only actual like letter holding keyword in Ink. There's probably a few other obscure ones, but basically you're using symbols the whole time. So that creates your variable dog. There's nothing in it. And if you look over the story, it says, you get a new puppy. What will you name it? And there are 3 choices. Can anyone help me out with what are the choices?
I shall name it Waffles.
Yep. That's one choice.
Griselda is the best name.
Uh-huh. And the third one?
I don't know. Pog.
Og?
Pog. There you go. So now each of those choices, you would click on them and something would happen. But what do you see under each one? What about that line in green?
Whichever choice you picked, it changes the name.
Yeah, there you go. So that little tilde means this is going to be a line of code, not a line of story. And we can just set the dog variable equal to whatever the name is. Right? So now let's look at line 12. And that's where you use the dog variable. So if you look over on the right, it says you and Pog become best friends and go on lots of adventures. What do you think that would say if I had clicked on I shall name it Waffles?
You and Waffles become best friends.
There you go. So then that means you can make choices and have them come up later, right? So if you chose the red pill or the blue pill, right, you can then use which pill you chose later to do different things. Cool? Okay, let's check out this example on Unfold Studio. Here we go. You got a new puppy, what will you name it? Tell me what we should name it. You pick.
B. Whatever the B choice is.
B. Griselda is the best name. You and Griselda become best friends and go on lots of adventures. Excellent. Let's try it again.
Awesome.
Third choice this time. There we go. What if we pick I shall name it Waffles? It says you and Waffles become best friends and go on lots of adventures, but then there's another line. You have extra good adventures because you chose the best name. So where does that come from?
The else? Is there an else in there?
Yeah, you're thinking of a conditional having an if then, and this is how a conditional is written. It's in fancy braces, dog equals Waffles, colon. And that just says if the value of dog is Waffles, then do this stuff. Okay, that sound good? Do you want to try doing something like that? Cool. Which one of those are you going to pick? You shall name it Waffles. Yay. You picked the best name. Awesome. So what should we do next? Should we put in an if you chose a different name? Or should we put in like you get another pet? And so the 3 of you get to go on adventures? What sounds good?
Maybe like one of the adventures that they go on with the new puppy.
Okay. Cool. Maybe it should ask something like, what is your favorite sport? And then we can say you and the puppy go to that sport game.
Okay.
Or activity or whatever. It doesn't have to be sport, right? This is all of creativity is open to you. Cool. So we're going to add to the end. Yeah. And you can put a little dash there. Like a minus. Good. And we're going to put the next question. So like on line 4, we said, what will you name it? So we can ask a question like, what is your favorite sport? Or what is your favorite artist? Or what is your favorite band? Cool. And then you can press enter, and then you should do plus to give it some choices.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one, start with your favorite band. There you go. Okay, give it another plus. on the next line. Good. What's someone else's favorite band?
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. Let's get some women on here. Do you have a band of women like Destiny's Child?
Four Non-Blondes.
There you go. It's up to you.
Wait.
Pink. It's easier to spell.
Nice. Okay. So if you'll notice on lines 5 through 10, after each choice, there's a line in green where it says dog equals the thing. So we're not using dog anymore. What should the name of our new variable be?
Band.
Band. Okay. Can you go up to the tippy top, like on line 2, and can you make a new variable called band? There you go. You can just copy the same structure as on line 1. There. Yeah.
There.
Cool. And a space, and then the name of your variable, and then an equals, and then another space, and then give it 2 quotes with nothing in it. That just makes it an empty thing that doesn't have anything in it right now. Good. Okay. So now on the line after the Jonas Brothers, we'll have to set the variable band equal to Jonas Brothers. Right. So that starts a little tilde, which should be near your escape key. There you go. And give it a space. It just likes a space. There you go. Band equals, and then put it in quotes. Excellent. Okay. You want to copy that same thing after Rolling Stones and after Destiny's Child? You got this. Robert, how's it going? I know you missed a bunch.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. That is, you create the variables, then you can, depending upon the responses the user uses, you can assign the variables. And it looks like you use parentheses to display the variables. You like line 11 or 12.
Yeah, those are curly brackets. They're hard to see, but they're curly.
They're curly brackets. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Jasmine. We'll give it a minus, and then we can say what happens next.
Is there a space or just continue on line 26?
I would put a new line just because as a human reader, I like to separate things out, but the computer doesn't care.
Okay.
Cool. So maybe it's you and dog go to a band concert together. And so for the dog, you have to put curly braces. Yeah, around dog. And then it'll use the dog's name. Cool.
Can I just say anything?
Yeah, but you want to use the band. Because you just asked what your favorite band is. And so you just say something about the band, like you and dog go to a Beyonce concert together, or you and dog rock out and meet a mysterious stranger when you go to the Jonas Brothers concert. That kind of thing. So the sentence can be anything, like the English can be anything. We just want to use band in there somewhere.
Make your dog eat your paper tickets to the band's concert.
Unfortunately, dog eats the tickets to the band concert. There
you think.
You think.
Dot.
There you go.
Search the favorite hiding places.
Ooh.
Or.
There you go. Uh-oh. Does Control Z work? I think you just accidentally, there you go. Cool. So you can give it a curly braces around dog. There you go. Eats your, there you go. It's 2, and then band in curly braces.
Is it going to kick me out of the room if I try to sit down at the computer and log in, do you think?
I don't know, but you can try it. We'll always let you back in.
You know what? When is this session over, and then the main going back to the main one? In
Oh,
like how many minutes?
yeah, in a few minutes, I think.
Oh, I'll just wait.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if I get kicked out, it'll be easier.
Jasmine, go ahead and click save. There you go. You got a new puppy. What will you name it? It's up to you, Jasmine. Pick one. I shall name it Waffles. Awesome. What is your favorite band? Jonas Brothers. Unfortunately, Waffles eats your tickets to Jonas Brothers concert.
Is he saving you from the torture?
Editorial. There you go. So does that make sense? Like you can ask for input and then use it later?
This is cute.
Cool. Thank you, Jasmine. You are welcome to keep working on this one and like add things to it. It can be yours, but it's also, since you made it as a public story, anybody can find it. So I'm going to take screen share back.
Do English teachers use this at all for them?
I think they should.
Well, yeah, I think they should too. But I don't know many English teachers who know coding syntax. Not that this is really difficult, in my opinion.
I made a story map here. So this is like the pre-writing you can get kids to do. And it has choices on it, has a syntax on it. And this is for writing not story, like the beach one.
Where did you do this part?
We skipped this because we were low on time. But
Okay,
this,
but that's in the program?
no, this is in the slides. So you can have the slides.
Okay.
And this is the template that you can use or copy or whatever. And then this is the example of the filled out one that I did at a previous
Okay.
workshop.
All right. So that's not within that.
No, it's a supporting document.
Got it.
And I can share that with you all, and it will also be, it's a view only, so you can make a copy of it if you want. But yeah, go and use that as the teaching tool. Like you don't need to know any more syntax than that.
Okay.
Cool. Any other final reflections?
Is there a list of syntax somewhere?
Yes. So the last thing you need to look at is down and on any version of the screen in the bottom left, there's a little help. And that's an adult level version of a syntax guide. They haven't made a kid, appropriate version yet, but that's the guide to using ink and using Unfold Studio.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much. I'm excited for everyone to see what you made.
I started I did what I learned just before my internet died, and that was to create some options. So
cool.
there
Can you
have
show
it.
us? Can you
So
click
these
on
are
one of those options?
clickable options. And so yeah, I guess when I click on the option, then it adds it to the story.
Yeah.
So
There you
there we
go.
go.
Thanks so much, Robert.
Uh-huh.
Our next type of story, who was sharing then? Chris?
All right.
Cool. Can you click save and start the story from the beginning?
Okay.
Excellent.
So we added more to this one than to this one.
Uh-huh.
So
So let's read it. You're floating in the pool on a raft that looks like a large chocolate sprinkled donut. Suddenly you hear a shout and look up at the rows of balconies. What are we going to do next, Chris?
we shout back.
Yeah, shout back. 3 men run out of room 204, startling you so you fall ungracefully off your donut and splash into the cold water. When you surface, they are gone. What's next?
Well, then we added these two and we learned the difference between the wording of our choice disappeared on this one. But when we did this one, it stayed.
Nice. You grab a towel and immediately throw the towel on the ground when you realize hundreds of spiders crawl out.
But if we do the other one,
Uh-huh.
we feel something tug our foot.
Ooh, it pulls you down and suddenly you find yourself in a murky river. It is a man-eating school of fish.
And that was what
Wow.
we got.
Cool. How do you feel about this, Chris?
Because nobody knew how to spell piranha.
I don't know. I really think that this is something that the English department should attach to, because they say the kids don't want to read and write and whatever, but I think they would get into this.
Yeah. Awesome. So Jasmine has our last story, and it is more interactive with variables.
Okay. So these are the options on the side. You got a new puppy. What will you name it? We're gonna choose I shall name it Waffles. And then you and Waffles become best friends and go on lots of adventures. You have extra good adventures because you chose the best name. What is your favorite band? We're gonna go with Jonas Brothers. And it says, unfortunately, Waffle eats your tickets to the Jonas Brothers concert.
That's awesome. Jasmine, can you click save and make different choices? So maybe we get Ed to make his choices here. What are you going to name the dog? Waffles, Griselda, or Pog?
I like Griselda.
Griselda? Try that. Cool. What's your favorite band out of these three? Destiny's Child, Destiny's Child.
I gotta go with Beyonce and Destiny's
There you
Child.
go. Look what you get. Griselda eats your tickets to the Destiny's Child concert. Saved in variables.
This is amazing.
Excellent job, Jasmine.